million basically overnight.
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Give or take. So start with telling us a little bit about that story, and then I want to dig deeper into the process of manifesting.
Okay. So to give people context, I was paid $1 million for a 1-year coaching contract. Yes, that's true. And the process which led to there. So many people get hung up on that. They're like, what? How? What? Few people ask the really important question is, how did you become a match to that? Because it wasn't winning the lottery. Someone actually said, your coaching is worth $1 million.
Yeah.
How did that process happen? And that process was one of about 14, 15 months. And really was me facing off with all of my beliefs, insecurities, fears around money and abundance, and understanding the energetics of money and what it really is and how to make it, and upgrading my space, my physical space, moving into that space and knowing it was necessary for me to expand. It is now $1 million to work with me.
Say it out loud.
Out loud into the ayahuasca ceremony. And the shaman goes, and may all the resources be used for the greatest good of all. You know? And then I'm just laying there, and whoever knows how long later, medicine says, you will have your first $1 million client by the end of the week. Claim it. Out loud. I will have my first $1 million client by the end of the week. And the moment I said that, 3 people popped into my head. And she said, it's one of these 3. And I'll shorten the story, but essentially, actually, this is an important part of the story. I'm going to continue this. One of them was in that ceremony. And I found myself randomly the next morning, synchronistically in a conversation with that person, and I supported them. And it's like, I think I can really help you with what you're going through. He said, I agree. What does that look like? I said, well, you heard it in ceremony. It's $1 million. And he said, well, like, I would have to move stuff around. It's not just like in a bank account. And I said, well, you heard it in ceremony. You have until the end of the week. And he said, yes. And we had another ceremony that next night, and I just went, what? Did I just make $1 million? What? And he said, yes. And I went into that second ceremony and asked for a sign. I really asked for a sign, and I got the sign. And it was already done. I went, okay. And fast forward to 2 days later, I'm in conversation with the other person, and they're in the midst of a breakdown. And I show up at their house, and I say, hey, let me support you here. That leads to me saying again, I can support you. It's $1 million. They said yes. And I went home and I went, I just made $2 million in 2 days. What? And I meditated. And what became clear was it's only one. It's meant to be one. I was told it was one. And I felt more strongly about the second person. And so I composed an email, and I said, I'm really sorry if you're already moving funds around and different things, but I was told it was only one. And I have someone else that said yes. And so I'm going to withdraw this offer of coaching. And if we work together in the future, amazing. But thank you for your trust and sending you many blessings. And I think that's a really important piece to this story that isn't often focused on because of the flashiness of the $1 million, is also the willingness to withdraw the offer that someone said yes to and potentially say no to $1 million is part of the energetics of why it was given to me to begin with. And when we talk about money, when we understand that it's energy, it literally is just energy, and it's all a game. This is all made up. Literally, it used to be backed by gold. It's not anymore. Those numbers they're just numbers on a screen. It's all energy at this stage. And the understanding of that and the process of manifestation, because there is a process to it, unlocked something for me that later became my nonprofit that I founded. It became the Art of Choosing Love. It became the Create community. It became buying my parents a house. Like, it became so much beauty that wasn't really even about me and didn't make any sense. In hindsight, if you did what I did with $1 million, you'd say you're ridiculous. Like that, what are you doing? That there's no business advisor on the planet that would tell me to do what I did